We are live. Hello, Darren. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you.
Good. I've got a song for you. So if you just put yourself on mute so that you don't show me up with your perfect singing. And this is a little bit of Nickelback. Never made it as a wise man. Couldn't cut it as a poor man's man. Tired of living like a blind man. Sick and tired without a sense of feeling. And this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am. Don't like you say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. This time I'm mistaken for handing you a heart worth breaking. And I've been wrong, I've been down to the bottom of every bottle. It's my words in my head scream out, we're having fun, yeah, no, no, you put me off waving. Oh, that's funny. So
Excellent, that was good.
Thank you. It's a little bit different to start a show, isn't it? Never see Graham Norton serenading his guests, do we?
No, we don't.
And I always forget to put that in. That was the name of the song. So, Darren, the very first question I ask every single guest is, tell me, why did you pick that song?
It's a really good memory for me because it was back in 2002 after I got married. I left university and we went traveling and we had a little wind-up radio and we were traveling around Europe. And I remember being in Austria and the song came on and it came out at a time when no one else was doing guitar-driven, heavier music. And that's my style of music. So I loved it. And I just got visions and memories of us like winding up our little radio and traveling around Europe and hearing these songs.
Oh, fantastic. So did I evoke those memories today with my rendition of that song?
It was like if I shut my eyes, I was on the edge of a lake in Switzerland. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, brilliant. What a lovely story. I love that. So, Darren, thank you very much for coming along. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, all right.
Good. So this is all about LinkedIn. So what I want to know is a few things about LinkedIn. So how long have you actually been on LinkedIn?
Well, I joined LinkedIn in February 2008. So it's a long time ago now, but I would have to confess that I didn't really use it for many years, but was on it and was building my connections over time. And I was on it because other people were on it and said it was a good way of drawing attention and getting a job. And yeah, I've been on it for a while now.
No, fantastic. That's really good. So do you use other social media regularly?
I don't. It's really interesting because of what I do for a job. People would assume that I'm on social media all the time, but I don't because I'm not a big fan of social media. I'm a fan of tools that really help us, and I'm not a fan of noise. And so I removed myself from. I do have a Facebook account. I do have a Twitter account, but I don't use them. And I just try to clean up all the information I'm getting. So LinkedIn is that's my platform for staying in touch with people and seeing what's going on.
No, fantastic. And why do you like LinkedIn then?
Pretty much because you told me how to work it. And, I came on your really good workshop, which has really helped me actually, because it was just dormant and dusty. And, I just wasn't getting much out of it because I wasn't putting anything into it. And actually, I've got a long way to go with making much better use of the platform. But once you understand how to work it, it works better for you. And I've met some interesting people on it since.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm meeting interesting people all the time on LinkedIn, including yourself. So, although actually we met at a real live networking event, didn't we? That was November. That was the very first one back for you guys after lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a Torbay Business Forum. Torbay Business Network. That one was, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Little bit of a trek for me, so I haven't been since. But so that was where we met. But great that you're using LinkedIn. How often do you post content on LinkedIn?
Well, that's my confession, that I am not at the stage of posting content yet. It's on my plan, but I seem to be in a place where um, I'd only want to post something that's quite good, and this can hold people back. I know you say, sometimes you just got to start posting, and then you get better as you do it. But I've been focusing my attention on writing nice and informative comments on other people's posts, to just get in the habit of using LinkedIn and getting regularly logging in and using it for at least 15 minutes a day. That's what I've been trying to do. And then I'm building up towards, right, we can start putting more content on it.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's a great strategy. And I do bang on about being on the platform, but I'm not so pushy about getting a post out there. It is about the engagement. And whenever I see a comment by you, it's always a clever comment. It's always adding value. And I think that's what we need to do on LinkedIn. Talk about adding value. You were saying about what you're getting out, what you put in, and Paul's just come up with that. It is a great song title it's a great title for a song, Paul. You're quite right. So that is, I don't know if you know, that's my it's on the bottom of my. Well, it's moved. It was there earlier. that's my logo and my I can't think what it's called. Paul, I think what it's called. Tagline. That's the one. So yeah, you do get out what you're putting, and absolutely everything in life you get out what you put in. So there you go, brilliant. So the rest of my questions are all around posting on LinkedIn, so we'll lose those. That's absolutely fine. So are you getting any new leads from LinkedIn? You're not actually posting content, but are you getting business or leads from your activity on LinkedIn since being on the workshop?
Yes and no. I think it's a compound thing, isn't it? So by doing the activity, you meet new people. By meeting the new people, they recommend you to new people. By meeting those people, you end up with a job. So I've had an opportunity to do some things with you, which was great, where we started looking at doing some banner work, which we might look at later on. And I've had some meetings with some different people that I met on the group I was on with you, and also another group that you ran, that you kindly invited me on to talk about design on. And so I had a couple of meetings with some of those, and you never know where they're going to lead, do you? So it's just good to be known and start meeting people. And I've met some great people that I could recommend other people to when I come into contact with people that need their services.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's like. And the thing about LinkedIn, it's a business network that you don't even have to leave your house to get involved, which is absolutely superb. Yeah, you mentioned banner. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you help people.
Yeah, well, so I'm a graphic designer. I've always wanted to be a designer since I was, I think, 6 or 7. It was very, very early memory, and I pursued that. Run a graphic design studio called Scribble and Think, based in Newton Abbot in Devon. And so that's what we do. We love design. We love helping people with their branding, helping people with developing their websites and assets for their social media, developing designs that actually genuinely close the gap between the people they're trying to reach, to be an authentic view of what they do as a company. You meet those companies and you meet them and you go, these people are awesome. They're really good. And they're not very good at telling the world that they're that good. I know why I would use them. I know why I would trust them, because they're brilliant. But then they send out a piece of content, or you come into contact with something and you go, that doesn't feel like those people I know and love. And so we work with people to help sort of get their DNA out and say, whatever touch point you come into contact with this company, you should feel like this, because this is who they are. And that's what we do. So the work we did was, like you were talking about the LinkedIn banner, like when that people come and they got a millisecond, like couple of split seconds, to really make an impression on people. When you look at your banner and go, oh dear, so it's so important that it just communicates clearly, simply, and effectively who you are and what you're about. And so that's how we started talking, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And well, you did win the competition, but I totally disqualified you because of your job title. What I'm going to do now, I don't actually share much on here, so I hope this works. I click on that, and then there it is. This is. I hope you don't mind me sharing your LinkedIn profile.
No,
that's all right, because it's too late. It's here. So
there you go.
So I in the training, I was talking to everybody on the workshop about having a decent banner and what you need to do, etc., etc. And so the next day, and then I checked to see who was doing what, and I saw yours, and I thought, all right, that wins. That is perfect. So talk us through this. Why is this such a perfect banner? In my opinion, you didn't say it was perfect. I think it's perfect, and it was just class. So tell us.
Okay, well, that's quite a tricky one, isn't it? Why is it a good banner? It's really simple, and it says exactly what we do. It doesn't say we are designers. It says we do this because it matters, and it matters for you too. And it says it in 4 words. I know I need to take a new profile shot, because you did teach me about looking at the camera, and that is on my list of things to do. But combine a good profile photo with a banner, and suddenly people are going to go, yeah, they know what they're doing. And I've put Dartmoor in there because this is where we're based, and I love the outdoors. It's a bit of geography for us.
No, absolutely. No, and the colours again work with your brand. So yeah, absolutely superb. So thank you so much for sharing for us sharing that. Paul's just come up with a great question. I love that. If you could redesign and rebrand LinkedIn, what would it look like?
LinkedIn.
Yes.
Wow. The thing that annoys me about LinkedIn's logo is the capital I backed up against the D, because you got an ascender and a capital I. So I would do something different by somehow splitting them up. And I know it puts the in a box sometimes, but I definitely think they're overdue a rebrand. But that's a big job, because whoever does that's going to get a lot of flack from the entire world, because no one's going to be happy about it.
800 million users, I think, Darren, will be kicking off.
Yeah.
So as a kid, then I just want to. I know this isn't on one of the questions, but as a kid, you must have really been into design to sort of think that's what I want to do.
People asked me, this was the 80s in London, and they were like, what do you want to do when you're growing up? And I said, well, I love drawing things and making them accurate, and I love coloring them, and I like using a ruler, and I just like making things line up nicely, and I don't want to go outside the lines at all. I loved my coloring in. And they're like, oh, that's a graphic designer, they make loads of money, you should do that. Now, of course, they did make loads of money in the 80s. I pursued it in the noughties, where they didn't make so much money, but the job is still awesome. I mean, it's changed a huge amount, but I'm privileged. I'm so privileged to be able to do a creative job, but every day is different. You could be working on coming up with an advertising campaign for a charity. You could be rebranding vehicles for a building company. You could be working on a magazine for a school. Every day you've got different stuff. At the moment, just before this, I was designing a new set of poker cards for a new game of poker that has 6 suits in it that someone's launching, and that's really cool. So we're just designing the logo and the suits for that.
Hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades. What are the other 2? Oh,
none of those are in this. They're
wow.
all new suits. It's a whole new game of poker.
Wow. Oh, that sounds really interesting. And again, like you say, that is so cool. You didn't know that was going to happen, did you, when they phoned you? No, I love it. I love it. That's really cool. That's really cool. Right, back to the script then, sir.
Yep.
So what type of customers do you work with?
Quite a range, I suppose. We do a lot of work with charities, like we work with the YMCA in Exeter. We've worked with the Exeter Leukemia Fund. We work with the South Devon College students and charities. We work with homeless charities. We work with education. So one of my favorite jobs is working with Blundell School, and we do a termly magazine to send to all their network of past students and present, which I love doing. It's a really nice coffee table book. We do work with people in building services, professional services, indoor storage units. It's churches. It's just what we do applies to everyone who cares about how they look. So I love the variety that gives us.
Oh, fantastic. I don't know why we didn't talk about it, but following the workshop and you winning the banner competition, that wasn't really a competition, and you didn't really win because you had an unfair advantage. But you've started doing a few banners for people now. Is that right?
Yeah, so we said, you like people to try and do their own banner, but we understood that not everyone has the tools and it's not everyone's skill set. And actually, if they wanted it to be done really well and it mattered, maybe get someone like me to whip something up for them, which will be better than what they do, because this is what I've trained to do all my whole life. And so that was good. So we came up with the offering, didn't we, where we said, any people who are coming on your course or anyone wants some help, let's do a package. So we said, like, call it 130 quid, and we design you a LinkedIn banner that's going to represent you well. And so we started looking at that, and that's a very new thing. So yeah, if anyone out there really needs some help with a banner, we're happy to take on a little project like that and get them looking really sharp.
Yeah, no, absolutely superb. So when this show's finished, it stays on LinkedIn. So if you can go into the comments and actually let everybody know what you do and put a link in there, so anybody watching this back on playback or watching now can then go in there and get that, because your banners are incredible. So it'd be nice if you can help some of the people that are watching, because like you say, you can do a banner in Canva. And I had a conversation with somebody like yourself, it wasn't you, saying that Canva's rubbish and they should get me to do it. And I was like, well, some people can knock something up, but then a lot of people haven't, like you say, haven't got a clue, haven't got the time, haven't got the experience. So yeah, exactly. Why not get an expert to do it? So perfect. So we're all talking about work-life balance and stuff like that, and I'm guilty because I love doing what I do, so I'm always in my shed. But how many hours are you working a week?
I would say I'm pretty good on top of it at the moment. So I would say about 40. I typically start at 8:30 in the morning, 8 to 8:30, and I'll typically finish between 5 and 5:30. I'm trying to be at home more in the evenings. I've got two young daughters, 13 and 15, and I don't want to be at work the whole time. So yeah, conscious effort to just try and keep it in the working day.
13 and 15, that's a great age for daughters, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyone got any advice, let me know.
Well, so my two are a little bit older. I don't know if you saw my post today on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
so they're a little bit older. So if you want to have a natter offline, then I've been there, we've done that, it's fine. It is absolutely fine. This isn't the show for that, but it's I wouldn't be without my girls. So yeah, you're truly blessed to have a couple of daughters.
Yeah.
So what challenges have you got at the moment in your business?
This question is an interesting one, because what challenges I got in my business at the moment, I think it's a combination of two things. I think we've been living in this strange place for so long that clients haven't been confident to pursue projects because they didn't know what was going to happen in their landscape in the next 3-4 weeks. And we seem to be coming out of that now. Like, people feel like we're in a more stable environment. So they can get cracking on those projects that they needed to run, which is great. But that, combining that with the increased cost of living that's hitting everyone's prices, that's squeezing people's budgets. And so getting people to put the right budget aside to get a decent job is a bit tricky. It just feels like there's slightly less money around than there used to be at the moment, just while people are adjusting. So yeah, I'm hoping that's going to stabilize, that people are going to get settled in, that we go, right, this is the new way that we're doing. This is what stuff costs. We're on top of what's coming in. We've stabilized, right? Let's prioritize what we need to do as a business now to make sure we're presenting ourselves well again.
No, absolutely. No, well done. And so you've got two daughters, so you probably don't have a lot of time. But what do you do when you're not working and you're not on LinkedIn, Darren?
I am so I'm heavily involved in my local church. I've done that since I was like 18 or 17 or something. I lead music, so I'm like you. I play guitar and sing, and I lead the music team at our church, which is awesome because I get to play with people and lead people who are singing something that really means something to them as well. Which I love being part of that community. That's awesome. And I also do I try to stay fit and do sports. So cycling is my main sport. I try to ride mountain bike or road, and I'm trying to get back into swimming again, because before the pandemic I was doing triathlons every year, and I want to get back to that sort of fitness again if I could. But it takes, like you say, I've put off doing it because I don't want to spend all my time at work or training. I want to actually be at home, so I've put off booking a triathlon because I don't want to spend all my time in a pool or running. So yeah, when I can, exercise, love serving at the church, and love what I do for work.
No, absolutely fantastic. What a lovely story. So how many triathlons have you done?
Maybe 8 or 9.
Wow, that is serious level of fitness, sir.
Over the years. I always did like the little ones, so like the sprints. That's how I started. I started with the Dawlish Triathlon years ago now, and just some friend just signed me up, and we had to learn how to swim. I literally had to learn how to swim. I was a rubbish swimmer, and then just did all those sprints. And then the year just before the pandemic hit, I did the Olympic distance, which was I did better in it because actually it's longer. So it turns out I'm good at the endurance side. So I finished much higher up the Olympic distance than the sprints.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Oh, that is incredible. For those that's here today, so she agrees with everything that we say, so that's good. And it's all about finding the balance again, and that is the thing, isn't it? So no, thanks for your comments there, for those. I've got one more question for you, but before I do that, I've got to introduce next week's guest. I'm already giggling now. This guy, he's called Pete Can. He's the laughter man. So he's coming on and he's going to have a little chat with us. I don't know if you've seen him, but he does laughter yoga and gets people in fits. I'm laughing already, and he isn't even on the show.
That's got to
so it's got to be worth coming back. There's going to be a license fee paid in one go, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, sir. What tip would you give your 16-year-old self? And this is probably the conversations that you're having with your daughters as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah. What would I say? What would I say to myself younger? I would say that your past script does not determine where you go. So don't let what you've known in the past box your future. That's just a reflection of what you grew up in. But you can make your future whatever you want it to be if you can just get out of that box.
I love that. I'm actually in the middle of reading a book by a guy called Goggins. I can't think of his first name.
David Goggins.
David Goggins. Can't Hurt Us. Absolutely incredible. I'm only I don't know, the first 20% in, but wow.
Yeah, he's a lunatic. He's got a quote that I've written in my journal, which is when you think you're completely out of energy, when you think you're done, you've got 40% left in the tank. And I've written that in the front of my journal because I know that to be true.
Yeah. That is amazing. But yeah, Darren, you've been a lovely guest. Thank you so much. Lovely to catch up as well. Yeah. Thank you to everybody for your lovely comments. We will see you next week. But Darren, thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Ashley. Cheers.